Hi everyone. I normally do really piss-take talks. So I've done a talk called What NWA Can Teach My 10-year-old, and I once gave a talk to, I don't know, about 300 responsive web design dudes about whether or not my vagina smelt. And this isn't a piss-take talk. It's a really serious talk and it's really light on lols, and I'm really sorry. But I'm not, because it is a really important subject matter. So I'm just gonna go like that. I've not made any slides. I hate doing slides. It's another thing I really hate talking about my work. I've run a design studio for the last 3 years. I've worked in the creative industries for 15 years. I've done 2 Arctic Monkeys albums. I'm really, really bored of design, so I'm not going to show you any of my work. But if you want to have a look, I don't even think there's any work on our website at the moment. So that's it. You know, we get by. Everyone gets paid. It's great. It sort of kicked off with International Women's Day. So I'm one of between 3 and 11% of women in a leadership capacity in the industry. And I sit on lots of panels, and I sit on panels that are organised by women and they're attended by women, and it's women actioning the point. It's women asking for time off to attend the event. It's women who are juggling their domestic responsibilities to come and sit on these panels, and we're all going to sit together and we're going to try and solve a problem of diversity in the industry. And what I realised was that we, as you know, female leaders are between 3 and 11%, and there's 97% of the industry's decision makers who aren't attending these panels and they aren't attending these talks. So between 3 and 11% of the people who have any form of power of fixing things are left to solve 100% of the issues. I got really pissed off with it. A couple of other reasons: couldn't really be arsed working, took the summer off, stopped working in May, came back in September, and was sort of very inspired to write one of those really wanky medium.com articles about what I learned from a summer without the internet. And I wrote it and I published it, and immediately as I wrote it, I was just like, I just sounded like such a dick. And the reason I sounded like a dick was because there were 2 key factors why I was able to take the summer off. Brand gave me a lot of money for doing not an awful lot of work, and I didn't have to use that money to pay a mortgage or to pay my rent or to pay my tax bill. Didn't have to pay nursery fees, because about 5 years ago my father-in-law bought me a house. So for all my moaning about having a disadvantaged situation in the industry and how hard it is for me as a mother and boo, 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 I'm a woman, I don't have to pay a mortgage every month, so I win. And that really influenced the article that I wrote for It's Nice That. I'm hoping that you've read the article, because it'd be really boring for me to go over it now. And one thing really happened was that I received an awful lot of emails from people of colour who used the article as a jumping off point to tell me about their experiences of working as a minority in the creative industries. I really didn't know how to deal with that. It made me very aware of my own personal relationship with race. So if I had even been asked to do slides, which I wasn't, the title would have been called I'm Not Racist, I've Got a Black Dad. Have got a black dad. He moved in with me when I was 5, and he has made me question my relationship with race from a very early age, but sort of in one of those ways where it's like an irritating little fly, where actually once it gets a little bit sad and a little bit heavy, I sort of don't really have to engage with it in the way that my dad and my black brothers and sisters probably have to. And my black dad is very much my get out of racist jail free card. I can say I'm not racist, I've got a black dad and no one's ever going to question me. But there's a big difference between us going, racism's bad, and actually us doing something to actively combat racism. And up until the point where I wrote and published the article, I hadn't really done shit. So I set myself a little bit of a toolkit to try and use my tiny little 5,000 Twitter follower influence to affect a small change about diversity in the industry. That's what I'm talking to you about today. So, first thing that I did as a studio was that I audited our relationship with race. We in this guise have been operating for 3 years, and in that time I've commissioned one company which is co-owned by a person of colour, and I have given work to one person of colour. That's like, I don't know how many clients we've got on at the moment, shitloads of clients, really healthy turnover. I've commissioned 2 people of colour in the last 3 years. And I have to be very honest about those figures, because it's very much jumping off point for what we're trying to do at the moment. So, changing my algorithm. One part of the audit was for me to look at the different voices that I engage with at the studio. I'm really sort of active on social media, and I've really enjoyed the opportunity to have conversations on social media. But actually, when I looked at it, I wasn't really speaking to anyone who wasn't white and middle class and a bit like me. So I have undergone an opportunity of really trying to change my filter bubble. Say what you like about Twitter and Google and Instagram. Once you get on a little track, they will just throw suggestions at you. If you want to have a look at Well-Made Studio on Twitter, you can see that we've started making an active decision to follow and engage with people of colour. People in tech, people in UX, people in design, people in leadership. Really like an active opportunity to try and change our algorithm. And we've started funding initiatives, not in a huge way, but we are looking for ways to give our money. One of the initiatives that we have started funding is Black Girl Tech. Another one that we have started funding is Tear Dusk, and we are looking for ways to pay people who are already actively engaged in their community to continue their work. It's not a lot of money. It will be a lot more money in January, hopefully, when I've paid my astronomical corporation tax bill. But it's little baby steps in the right way. If you go on paypal.me/blackgirltech, you can give a £5 and you can fund this kind of work into encouraging more young women of colour into STEM industries. And the final thing that I've started doing is giving my time as well. One of the things that I've always done is mentor young people. We, as a studio, have had a very, very staunch attitude on internships. We've had a very staunch attitude on giving young talent the tools to sort of make their own way in the industry without having to sort of follow the path of agencies who can, a lot of the time, are cocking it up. So we mentor, and we give our time, and we give portfolio reviews, and sometimes I'll just sit there and go, do you know what, you need to speak to this person, you need to speak to this person. Try and make as many introductions as possible. Well-Made has always been vocally a very feminist agency. We were from the start, and we've been quite disruptive. Even though I'm one of 3 directors and the other 2 are fellows, we have always been very, very feminist. And what I realise is that I now have to reposition my studio to be a studio that is actively seeking to improve diversity in the industry, and not just for women, really. Sort of what this process, and it's only been like 3 or 4 weeks since I published the article, which really made me sort of look at my own practices in the industry. I spent so much time moaning about how hard it is for me that I failed to realise that actually I'm financially stable, I'm able-bodied, and racially I'm in the majority. So instead of me moaning about how shit it is having kids and how nobody, I get paid less than other people, I think I really need to recognise that I've had a bit of a leg up, and I need to start offering that leg up to people who may need it as well. So I'm really sorry that wasn't the funniest talk I've ever given. If you're interested, you can go online and look for what NWA can teach my 10-year-old. That's a good one. And thank you for listening to me. I really do appreciate it.